Over the last few weeks, I've been posting a lot of college football content. I've had videos ranking top 10s, discussing certain players and their careers, and a whole lot more. And I have a whole bunch of other content that's going to be coming leading up to the college football season. But something I'm going to be adding to my schedules is this brand new series I'm doing called 4th and 10. Essentially once a week, or maybe twice a week depending on the news that's out there, I'm going to be discussing the latest big storylines surrounding college football. 4 stories in 10 minutes. Hence the name 4th and 10. With so much going on in college football, I don't really want to dedicate one storyline to just one video, because there's going to be certain things I don't really want to go in depth on, but this way, if there's something I really don't want to explain too much about, I can give my brief thoughts and include it in this series. For today's video, we're going to be talking about the drama surrounding Mike Norvell and his team at Florida State, Jim Harbaugh's comments about Michigan being close to winning a title, Dan Mullen saying he expects Florida to go undefeated in 2020, and an Arizona State player getting a waiver never before seen in college football. All that today on 4th and 10. Now let's go for it. Now, there was some major drama surrounding the Florida State football team last night on Twitter. Tayshawn Reed, a beat reporter for The Athletic, tweeted on Tuesday a lengthy quote from brand new Seminoles coach Mike Norvell. In the quote, he said that he went back and forth individually with each player on his roster about what's going on in America right now. He said a lot, but it really made Norvell look like a great coach for reaching out and communicating with his players one-on-one, and all seemed well. Then last night, one of his players quote tweeted the quote, calling him out on it and that it was false. That player? Marvin Wilson. Now, for those of you that don't know, Marvin Wilson is arguably the best player on Florida State's defense, and many consider him to be a potential top 15 pick in next year's NFL draft. So, coming from him, this was big news. Man, this did not happen. We got a generated text that was sent to everybody. There was no one-on-one talk between us and the coach. This is a lie, and me and my teammates as a whole are outraged, and we will not be working out until further notice. Hashtag Huncho out. Now, my immediate first reaction to this was there had to be some sort of mix-up. Obviously, Norvell wouldn't be stupid enough to lie like this and let that quote get out there. Why would he say he talked with each player individually when he didn't? What my guess was, he sent out this mass text, every player got it, and a lot of them replied, and he had one-on-one conversations with a lot of these guys, but not every player on the team. So in reality, he did have one-on-one conversations, but it wasn't with every player like the original quote made it seem. So following the comments by the players, Norvell and his team had a closed-door meeting today. Shortly after the meeting ended, the first Florida State football player took to Twitter to share his thoughts. Redshirt freshman linebacker Kevon Glenn, one of a number of Florida State players who retweeted Wilson's original tweet, shared his updated thoughts after the team meeting. "We love our coach and we are together as a team. Florida State football team and coaching staff is fine and working. See y'all in the fall." Another player, linebacker Amari Gaynor, shared a video that appeared to be players getting ready for a voluntary workout with the caption, "All I know, hashtag work." Now, things seem to be really fine on Marvin Wilson's end as he posted this video to Twitter.
Hey, coming back around full circle. Yesterday I took a stand. That was not only for me or FSU football, not even for athletes in general. It's for Big George Floyd. Moving forward, yeah, we met as a team today, coming together, and we're gonna do 3 things. 1, everybody on the team is gonna be registered voters going forward, that we're gonna have our say-so on this next election. Number 2, we're gonna move forward, and we're gonna do different fundraisers and different things like that going forward to help give money to organizations to help send black kids to college. Number three, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do more fundraisers and to help kids around Tallahassee. But at the same time, I'm gonna be a millionaire, an educated millionaire with a degree, and I'll be able to tell them kids that you can be whatever you want in this world. We need to band together as family to take this over with, man, to be something different. I love y'all, bro. Stay safe. Stay black, you feel me?
Mike Norvell retweeted that tweet and then posted a statement of his own. "I'm proud of Marvin for utilizing his platform to express his reaction to my comments in an earlier interview. Last Saturday evening, I sent a text to each player individually to present an opportunity for open communication with me. Many members of our team chose to respond and have more in-depth conversations about issues and feelings. Marvin's right. It was a mistake to use the word every, particularly at this time. Words are important, and I'm sorry. Once again, I am grateful for the opportunity that I was given to speak to our team more in-depth as a result of Marvin being willing to express his feelings. We will continue to communicate and work together to be a part of the solution, making our world a better place for all. So it seems like there was some miscommunication after all, and all is good in Florida State, which is great to see because this potentially could have been a huge disaster. Last week, Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh appeared on Social Distance, a series on 24/7 Sports. When asked about his team, this is what he had to say.
Well, I mean, you could just look back over the last years that we've been here, the last 5 years. I mean, been about as close as you can possibly be. But you got to put it over the top, and that's, as I said, that's what drives us, Brandon.
Now, to be fair, Harbaugh's not really wrong here. Michigan has been close over the last few years. During his first season as head coach, he took the Wolverines from a 5-win team and turned them into a 10-win team. Then the following season, he was 10-1 and a win away from the Big Ten championship and likely a playoff spot. They lost in double overtime to Ohio State, but if JT Barrett would have been ruled short, Michigan wins the game and they play Wisconsin in the Big Ten title game. If Michigan beats Wisconsin, they're likely in the college football playoff, and who knows what happens. Maybe we're talking about Michigan being the national champions. Same thing in 2018. Michigan was 10-1 and entered the final game of the season ranked number 4. If they beat Ohio State, they're in the Big Ten title game and a win away from being in the playoff. Instead, they lose 62-39. Now, I know a lot of people give Jim Harbaugh a lot of grief for failing to beat the Ohio State Buckeyes since he became coach at Michigan, which deservingly so. He kind of deserves a good amount of backlash. But him and Michigan, they've been close. I mean, twice. If they just beat Ohio State, they're likely making a case for the playoff. So Michigan arguably has been the closest team over the last 5 years that has failed to make the playoff. If Michigan can get over the hump and potentially beat Ohio State this year, there's a good chance that not only Michigan will be playing in the Big Ten title game, but potentially in the first ever playoff. Sticking on the topic of bold comments from head coaches, Florida coach Dan Mullen had quite the statement the other day. He appeared on the Pat McAfee show where he had quite the prediction for his Gators team in 2020.
Coach, I assume you guys are going to go undefeated this year, yeah? Undefeated?
You know what? I look at it. When I look at our schedule every year, I assume we are. I don't. We're not going to win that one. I mean, I guess it is. If I looked at it that way and said, "Hey, boy, I don't see us winning that game," I guess I'd tell the coaches, "Hey, why don't you guys go home, man?" You know what I mean? I mean, we're not going to win this one anyway. So, if this time of year, you assume you're going undefeated every year. I plan on winning every game.
Now, I absolutely love Dan Mullen for saying this. First off, I mean, what's he going to say? Is he going to say, "I expect us to go 9-3 or 10-2"? No, he's not. He has to say he expects his team to go undefeated. So I appreciate the confidence in Mullen by saying that. And honestly, Florida very well could go undefeated in 2020. They're coming off a very impressive 11-2 season where they finished 6th in the final AP poll, and they have a pretty light schedule this year. They do have LSU and Georgia on their schedule, but both those games are at home, so I'd expect Florida to be favored in both, and they should win those games. Looking at the rest of their schedule, as long as they don't have a slip up and they can beat LSU and Georgia, I don't see why Florida can't go undefeated. Not only winning the SEC, but potentially being in the college football playoff. So definitely keep an eye on Florida. Finally, we end things with my Arizona State Sun Devils. In a move never before seen in college football, the NCAA has restored the eligibility of Arizona State punter Michael Turk, who declared for the 2020 NFL Draft, hired an agent, and participated at the NFL Combine before going undrafted and unsigned in free agency. Now, whenever this normally happens, you can't return to college football, but Michael Turk is able to return to Tempe with 2 years of eligibility remaining. Here's what he posted to Twitter.
Hello to whoever's watching this video. I just want to make a quick update of my life. Some pretty crazy things have happened. I left college early to pursue a professional career. That did not work out, however, and I've been kind of just working hard and praying about it. And now, due to COVID-19 and extenuating circumstances, I've actually been granted my 2 years of eligibility back to play college football, and I will be going back to Arizona State University. And I'm so thankful to God. I'm so thankful to my family. I've been living with my uncle here in this guest house. I'm so thankful to the staff at ASU, the compliance and the coaches. You guys, they have been nothing but just helpful and truthful and genuine. And I'm so appreciative of that. And I'm excited to be a Sun Devil. More excited than ever, honestly.
Michael Turk was the first team all Pac-12 selection as a redshirt sophomore last year. Now, if the name sounds familiar, it's probably because you remember him from the Combine, where he put up 25 reps on the bench press. The rest of his Combine didn't go so well, and he was hoping to bounce back with better performances at the school's pro day and individual workouts for NFL teams. But the coronavirus pandemic prevented those opportunities from happening. It was a shot in the dark, but the NCAA informed Turk and ASU this week that the appeal was granted. Now, it's unclear if other college football players have filed similar appeals or whether or not they're going to get granted, but my guess is it's going to be no. I think because Michael Turk's a punter and because of this whole coronavirus pandemic, he had good reason. So yeah, I think he's going to be the only player that gets his appeal granted, and he might be the only one that gets it granted for a long time. But I mean, hey, good for him. Personally, I don't know why he declared early for the NFL draft, but I'm glad that he was able to get this second chance with Arizona State. Well, that's the latest news out of the college football world. Share your thoughts on the topics I discussed down below, and let me know if this is a series you'd like me to continue in the future. As I mentioned, I plan to do this once a week, maybe twice, depending on the amount of news that's out. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're brand new to the channel. Because if you love college football, this is definitely the place for you. Leading up to the season, there's going to be a lot of great college football content posted here, so you don't want to miss it. As always, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you all in my next video.